I want to take an opportunity to talk to you about your work and your philosophy in design. But before we get into all of that, I want to point out something very interesting. You have a very unique approach to running a design practice. Am I right that every person who is working in your Ho Chi Minh City office is required to meditate at the start of every workday? I mean, is it for 1 hour or 2 hours? How long are they expected to meditate?
They had been meditating for 2 hours per day before, but I decided to reduce it to 1 hour per day. So now the staff can do 1 hour per day meditation, but after work, not before working.
Every employee has to sign an agreement before they get the job to say that they will respect the company rule to meditate 1 hour a day. Is that right?
We explain carefully, and everyone in Vietnam, they know that rule that we have to meditate at the company 1 hour per day for every staff, but we don't have that information in the contract.
Okay, so it's not compulsory. But what happens?
Yeah.
What happens if the employee is not interested in meditation? What happens then?
I think if employee doesn't want to meditate, then it is not good environment for them to be. So I think sooner or later they will leave the company.
Yes. Meditation has always been very central to your philosophy. Tell me, when did you get into meditation and how did it change your life?
I started to meditate in 2012. I was I had a lot of anger and unhappy life before that. So that's why I think meditation can help me to overcome that situation. I decided to move to Myanmar to meditate there for about 1,000 days, about 3 years.
Wow.
In Pao Monastery in Myanmar.
You make an explicit connection between the act of meditation and the task of design, right? So I was reading in an interview that you gave in 2019, it said that if you can meditate for several hours, everything becomes clear. You become a Superman compared to your former self. Architecture becomes easy. Now, I'm very sure that every architect who is listening to this podcast will want to know how to make architecture easy or easier. Can you explain what you mean by making it easy?
Normally, our mind have a lot of wandering mind, right? About 3 or 5 seconds, then a lot of wandering mind coming. Then we can't think through everything with very long time. So, but by practicing meditation, we can increase our concentration from like 3 to 5 seconds to be 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And what happens if we can concentrate with very less of wandering mind about like 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, then thing happen. It make totally different situation because I had been training in Japan for 10 years. There we had to work around the clock, like from early morning to midnight or even overnight for many days.
What you're saying then is that meditation, from a design standpoint, improves your focus and your concentration.
Nowadays, scientists prove that with regular meditation, our prefrontal cortex, gray matter in prefrontal cortex is increasing very fast. That is intelligence center, so it helps us to be smarter or the even the hippocampus, the learning and memory center in our brain, also improve very fast after just 3-4 months of meditation regularly, about 30-40 minutes per day. So you can imagine how my staff, if they meditate for every day for many years, so their brain must be better than usual. And I think their mental health also good. And being an architect, I think, is very hard. So a good mental health also help them to be successful in their career.
I want to understand this from a design standpoint. Can you give me an example of a project that was shaped by, the practice of meditation? Meaning, it turned out a particular way because you spent time meditating during or before design, and how you think it would have been different if you hadn't done meditation. Can you think of any one project where this has a tangible outcome?
I think it's hard to explain is before meditation and after meditation what have been changing. The time for the project is reducing, and because we can think about even very small detail faster.
Does it also contribute to making your designs more sustainable?
That good question. I think when we do the meditation well, then we can develop the loving kindness with others beings, and then it connect better with the nature and have to protect our planet better.
You link meditation to a compassion for nature, specifically that that it creates this connection with other living things. That once you begin to look inside yourself, perhaps you begin to see your relationship to the world, to the living world, in a different way.
I always thinking about that because we are away from the nature, we disconnected from the nature, and also we disconnected with ourselves, because our mind is wandering somewhere, thinking a lot of things. We are not here, so that's why it make us more and more conflict around the world. So the only way now, we need to to heal our mental, our mind first, and then with the peaceful mind, and then we can have good behavior with others, even small insect and other beings. But unfortunately, our life at the moment is busier and busier with social media, with internet, with TV. Then that's why we have more anxiety, and then we cannot do thing properly, think properly, and then we need to reconnect with ourselves by concentration, by practice meditation, and we have to reconnect with the nature again. Otherwise, we are all become crazy.
Does that mean that somebody who is living in the village in Vietnam is less crazy than someone who's living in the city?
That's very good question. Yes, scientists prove that with the anxious or depressed people, being in the nature is better than in the concrete jungle, of course. But we should compare with one person who, when he live in the city, or and when he live in the countryside. So I think it is totally different, but it still depend on the way of his living. Like, we are in the nature, but we still disconnected with the nature because
Right.
we connect with the social media, with internet, with TV for some information around. That means our mind is still wandering around, not be at the moment.